У нас багато випадків, мабуть, сотні, коли ми в одному мішку, в другому, в третьому маємо остатки однієї людини. Деколи навіть фіксуємо факти, коли в наступній репатріації частина цього нашого військового приходить або через репатріацію. І тому це накладає достатньо високу відповідальність на тих людей, на тих експертів, які здійснюють і розтин, огляд.
The ongoing difficulties in identifying missing soldiers highlight the human cost and uncertainty caused by the war. This is one of the wives of the Ukrainian missing soldier had to say.
Йому хотілося поїхати саме на фронт, саме зі своїми побратимами бойовими. І ось рік тому, після навчання, десь місяць було в них навчання, він поїхав під Покровськ. Ось 15 липня це був його другий бойовий вихід. Він мені записав в кружочок, що я тебе дуже люблю, що я через 5-6 днів повернусь, що вимикаю зв'язок, скоро буду. І десь через 7 днів мені зателефонували з ТЦК, сказали: ви вже знаєте за свого чоловіка? Кажу, ні. Кажуть, він зник безвісти. Приїжджайте, оформляйте документи. У нас майже кожен день в групах пишуть, що з Новоселівки повертають тіла. Тобто ідентифікують, повертають, і це прям, особливо зараз, останні півроку, це дуже активно почали повертати тіла, ідентифікувати.
We're now joined by Julia Kazdabina, who's a senior fellow at the Ukrainian prison, and she joins us live from Kiev to discuss this further. Thank you very much, Julia, for joining us here on the program. Julia, we often talk about the developments on the battlefield and the diplomatic efforts towards peace. However, this strikes more as a human angle. Could you tell us a bit more about the feeling in Ukraine? Of course, reportedly hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians have lost their lives during the war. How is it affecting Ukrainian society going through a war like this? Now it's almost reached its 4th year.
Well, of course, Ukrainian society is deeply hurt with what's happening, and of course now I don't remember the statistics, but now it's almost every family who has somebody in the war and somebody who died in the war. And for example, my family has a nephew fighting at the front line and a very good friend who was captured by the Russians as a civilian during the occupation of Kiev Oblast, and he's been in the Russian captivity for more than 3 years, and from witnesses who were recently released, we know that he is tortured there, and it's a very, very painful thing to know, because one thing is to read about it in the news, a totally different thing is to think about it as something that's happening to somebody you know. But at the same time, you understand that all these body exchanges and all these things, especially the way Russia does them, because it's true that they sometimes return, just as Ukrainian authorities say, parts of bodies in different shipments, and also sometimes there are even parts of Russian soldiers returned to Ukraine for whatever reason. And so it's they do these exchanges as a part of the so-called peace process, but at the same time, the way they do it, it's clear that this is not meant to bring things closer to peace. And also the cruelty that Ukrainians experience in Russian captivity, under the Russian occupation, it sends a clear message to us what's going to happen if we accept Russian demands. And also the fact that Russia continues preparing for further aggression, it also sends us a message what's going to happen if we agree to the Russian condition of what they call demilitarization. So although Ukrainian society is hurting very deeply, and it's when you you cannot really see it on the outside. Streets in Kiev at least look pretty happy, but when you start talking to people, you understand how much pain it is. But at the same time, we really understand that if